Greetings, blessings, salutations. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack, brothers and sisters. I am Jack Talcott. Some might say today is Talcott Tuesday, but it is definitely Talcott time. So thank you for all of those who are tuning in, who may join us at a later time. I'm already kind of changing things up just a tiny bit. We got a surprise for you, brothers and sisters. I already have an invited guest. And so we may or may not open the discussions up, but we're going to play this by ear just so you know what's going on. Let me address one thing, though, from yesterday. For those who have been loyal and encouraging supporters of the Talcottian adventure, I want to come correct today. I did not offer, one of the guests on the panel yesterday, J Hub, he called me out quite appropriately and correctly. He helped me to see I wasn't keeping the focus of the conversation on the topic that I'd promoted and I shared. And I'm not proud of my reactions yesterday and the way I shared my frustrations. But each day, brothers and sisters, we do improve when we seek improvement. And I'm offering today, hopefully, a better, more inspired and encouraged version of Jack today. As I said, I've already got a wonderful surprise. And let's go from there. Nicole, welcome
Hello.
back.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the space and time.
My sister, thank you. One thing I do poorly, if you'll allow me, let me say greetings to some of the folks in the chat. Paul Unslave, thank you as well already for your contributions and attention. And at least you mentioned my name and the starting time on your show. I'm not sure about the rest of what. Metaphysician, thank you for joining. I'm trusting today, every day brings us new. Toilet Bowl Earth, welcome back once again. Chuck in Tennessee, God bless you, brother. I really do. And some of these names, Ball Unslaved, Quantum Epic, thank you. Grant H. Well, I saw, for whatever reason, a stream was, there's actually a lot of live streams that'll be going now and starting very soon. Chuck in Tennessee, as I said, peace and blessings return to you as well. Mr. Laporta, hello. We shall share the greetings. Jessica Jane, I think, hopefully I'm caught up. God bless. Humans are quite fascinating. They just I grew up hating people. That's the way I was taught, not to trust anyone, keep everyone at a safe distance. And as a result, I hated people, man. I found out it's easier when we change the way we look at things. Our lives can totally change. And so I started finding ways to appreciate people. And now they just fascinate me.
It's beautiful.
Nicole, we were having some wonderful conversations actually prior to starting the live stream. The topic of peace, gratitude, praise. You've had a wonderful, you've had an experience where you've faced a lot of challenges and found some transformations for yourself, right? And you're continuing to do so, as I understand.
Yes.
Anything you can share regarding this?
Yes. So I had a lot of irons in the fire. I've been working diligently every day. And I had an experience where there was a crisis in my family and they were in the hospital for 2 weeks. And I was juggling the workload between two jobs. One, I work as a PRN in hospice care, and another one, I work full time in food delivery services. And then in the background, I'm also working to build my holistic healing company and establish contacts. And so, with that, it keeps my schedule very busy. And then on top of caring for the family member that had fallen ill. So, the circumstances presented itself in such a way where I was able to see that I also need time to play in order to balance my work life schedule. So today was my first day off that I've had in a long time. And I was able to really enjoy that time by just walking in nature, enjoying the Ravenna River Trail. They have a beautiful glade area with a couple rope swings, and we packed a picnic lunch and enjoyed like the peace and serenity of that nature. And it was such a wonderful way to just allow myself to rest and relax. It's been a long time too that I've since experienced just a nap, just lay down for like an hour or two. So for me to allow myself that nurturing in that time is really helpful with when we have a lot of responsibilities on our plate, because it gives us the respite that we need to carry on and to do what we have to do. And it also brings in a lot of gratitude and peace, because it helps us to kind of scale back and to think, well, look at all the things that we've already accomplished in that work, and to see good for all our hard work for the time that we've experienced, and to also appreciate where we are in the moment by enjoying that time to nurture our spirit, our soul, our body, and just continue on. So that had been, my recent experience and the lesson that I learned from there. And as I say, we are all um, both teachers and students, because we all come from a spectrum of what we are experiencing and learning, and things that we have also mastered. And so that both end of the spectrum allows us to be able to share and receive, and to stay in that humility as we have something to offer and we have something to learn.
Sister, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for sharing your first day off in a long time with us. God bless you. And
You're welcome.
to share that lesson of life, that really is an important lesson. Finding that balance between purpose and seriousness, taking life serious, responsibility seriously, and finding that time, the realization that self-care is so important. And I loved what you shared, that you guys made it out not only into nature, but you captured the presence, the appreciated the moment together, and reflecting on the good, reflecting on all that you've already accomplished and been through.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
those healthy practices. God bless. And thank you for sharing those again.
Absolutely.
Um, this actually kind of goes in line with a couple of other thoughts, concepts I was pondering earlier. The idea of spontaneous enlightenment. Without, if you play loosely with the terms, enlightenment, a change in perception, seeing things from a different level, and spontaneous is as instant as a thought, as a realization, as a discovery. And what you were saying, the teacher and student are one. They are contained within the one.
Mm-hmm.
And we all play these roles at throughout the progression of our lives, individually and collectively. We're in the process of discovery and remembering.
Yes, absolutely. And the self realization, it, in that experience of remembering, it's such a beautiful thing because we may have, as very old souls, experienced these things before. And so we may come to remembrance of what that is and step into that mastery too. So there's also that, as well as, you know, listening and learning intently and really bringing certain lessons to heart on how we can inculcate those things by the way that we walk and by our actions and by our speech. And so those things are important as well.
I, I love how you took that, or the idea of reflecting and remembering. It's with a still mind in the state of presence. When we bring our mind into our body, into the state of being of now, when we can ground ourselves into Mother Earth, into the moment, into the being of the self, that's where we get the different perceptions of the past, where we can reflect on things from a different way and allow our imaginations to play,
Mm-hmm.
and then allow the thoughts and the different understandings to be received and accepted. And this life we are living, it is so, it's not to be taken for granted. That's the lesson I've learned, is every moment, particularly with that other being of flesh that, you really kind of connect to, the real special one you like,
Yes,
right?
right.
The time with those, that's what our life is about. Our life is truly about relationships, knowing ourselves, discovering who we are through others, through their influences, through their stories and their lessons, like we're doing here, sharing
Yes.
stories and lessons of life. People with similar logic, similar reasoning, they can kind of they can get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a beautiful aspect. It's kind of like, we're all pieces of the puzzle or different facets of a gem. And in that perspective, we all have something to gain from each other and their contributions. And when we can look at that with the wise mind, which is a combination of the logical mind and the emotional mind, we're able to come into balance. So, that being the case, we're not necessarily our emotions, we're not necessarily, our logical mind, but when we bring that forms together in both sides, we can speak with wisdom, and that wisdom can offer a gift to mankind to bring in solutions, to bring in peace, to bring in gratitude.
Nicole, I am falling in love with how you're presenting this. Wisdom is the balance of logic and emotion. That's beautiful. That is the unity and the scripture, a double-minded man. You start separating your mind and you deny your emotions or you deny what's logical, you're going to drive yourself crazy. And
Yes.
this world has convinced the masses that it's logical, that it makes sense. that poverty and exorbitant wealth should both exist.
Right.
I say they're foolish.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just simply not balanced, because there is prosperity in nature when we
Yes.
see it. There's not a want or need or desire for what nature represents. It just simply exists. And so that, can show us in that variety, in that prosperity, that every human being can have that too. We don't have to experience extremes to appreciate one extreme or the other. If we come into balance with that, it's really just walking that narrow path, that middle way. And it's taking both sides. There are beauties in simplicities, and there are beauties in extravagance, and there's also an extraordinary and simple truth by reaching that harmonic balance between those two things.
Balance. That is the key. Nicole, golly geez. Yes, you get it. You, you, I've, well, when we were introduced under that umbrella of a group of people hoping for a kinder, better world. Thank you so much. Hey, what are your thoughts on opening the panel? I'm actually kind of inviting, welcoming, because
Yeah, go ahead.
balance
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
Um,
fine.
and it's with balance that we find peace.
Hmm.
This is what I realized. It's not through domination and oppression. It's not through ignoring what we don't like. It's finding balance. Finding balance within us and solutions that might be available. The balance between the past, the future, and now. Finding balance on mental, physical, and spiritual health each day. Finding the balance of our time, our priorities.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters, I did drop the link. I pinned it to the top of the chat for those uh, kind and loving viewers who wish to join the kind and loving conversations. And today I am committed to offering more peace, gratitude, and praise. Praise for life, praise for all of you, praise for the divine, the mystery of life.
It really is a beautiful concept because when we think of praise, it's the verbal, um, energy of gratitude. So when we find things to be grateful for, we can verbalize that gratitude with the praise. And being specific too about tangible, realistic aspects of gratitude in our life, we all have them. It helps us to see things from a different perspective. As you had mentioned before, that when you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. So, in that regard, it helps us to bring things down into our heart center and to balance um, our gut, knowing our instincts with our mind and coming into harmony with that. And it's shown, verbalized through that praise. So that helps us to be able to speak with integrity and with intention. And when we're speaking with integrity and intention, that is felt in the center of our heart. And that helps dispel a lot of disharmony or areas of imbalance.
Yes, I think I get when that truth is shared, when it's an honest, honest, accurate, positive, creative force of words, it affects us within. I mean, when you hear something, you know it's true, maybe a new concept. I've experienced this several times. So you hear a new concept and it's maybe new to you, but the truth, it'll raise the hairs on you. You know, you'll get a physical reaction to the inner knowing and the resonance of energy.
Yeah,
Truth is powerful.
it is. You know, its simplicity is also very profound.
Mm.
And when we feel that simplicity and that, aspect, it does raise the hairs because we understand it on a very deep level, and that resonates. So yeah.
The power of truth is kind of in line with that other idea I had of the spontaneous enlightenment, the spontaneous release of resentment, of guilt, of shame, of despair, of depression, the spontaneous release of that which no longer serves. It's available for each of us each and every day, but bringing our awareness into what is available. This is where I believe there's I have theories, right? I have theories regarding how the spirit works with the physical mind. Um, there's a lot of, as I've seen some of the science and data, there's evidence that shows pornography and immorality can actually damage the brains. And what I've, and just following logic and reasoning as well with in line with the scripture. If God is that which reveals the truth, the satanic forces would be those that manipulate and distort the truth. If God is the truth, when we don't accept what is real, what is true,
Mm-hmm.
we start believing in fantasies, delusions. And there's people that are living their entire lives in this deluded belief that they are an authority, that they're better than someone else, you know, because that's what the world has shown them.
Right.
But it's not true. Oh, goodness.
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
Yep.
So,
I think too, in that regards, in the world of Maya, or the world of illusions, we see a lot of that, but really anchoring ourselves into what is real. There are so many venues of illusions, but again, it's, a balance between that which is not real and that which is real. And that brings us again into the wise mind. So we are able to make wise decisions for ourselves into what avenue of life that we wish to live for ourselves, and that which we want to create for ourselves.
yes.
I feel like in this in this world of illusions, it's like we are in this undercurrent of a riptide. But how to, navigate through that riptide is not necessarily swimming against it, because we would exhaust ourselves in that energy, but to, you know, swim alongside of it until that current is, expedited and we are able to get out of that. And so it's a gradual learning and unveiling of things that come across in various aspects. It could be on the financial system, it could be on the governmental system, it could be on the environmental system. There's so many different veils or layers of revelation, and it's learning those and mastering those at the same time. So as we go through those many venues, we're we're becoming the master with our life experience and the way that we walk, and we're also learning as we go. And it's okay. It's okay to do both.
Amen. Hey, we have a we have our first guest, other additional guest. Welcome, Toilet Bowl Earth. Is that? Do you have something to offer? Okay.
Okay.
Tell you what, go ahead and show me in the back. You can show me your face if you want to come back up. Otherwise, feel free to move along. I don't want to assume ill intentions, but I know the patterns of what has been brought with these open panel environments. Humans are fascinating. They act like juvenile children who don't think, and they run around telling everybody they know a lot. It's hilarious. Hey, back to what you were saying. Finding the balance and recognizing it's a continual process of learning. It's continual growth. That's what I was getting from you, right?
Yes, yes. So, there are things that we can say that reveal a mastery, and things that we can do that also are revelations in our learning, in our experience. And I think that allows us to stay humble, because there's so much that we can learn too. And that's a beautiful experience.
Learning is a choice, though, and this is where I understand the slow process of learning, and I also there's kind of a reason behind bringing up this spontaneous enlightenment, um, because I think it's time for people to stop living in denial.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Maya. People are all they're all caught up, and they've fallen in love with this materialistic mindset with nation states and billionaires, and people are willing to fight to the death in order to keep living that false reality.
Right.
Part of another I was listening, are you have you come across I think his name's Charles Eisenstein by chance?
No, but I'd be interested to know more about it.
Well, he's a someone I've recently discovered. He impresses me as a very brilliant young man. I don't know his age, but he was he was talking recently about misplaced anger. He was actually talking about the value of anger, how it serves a purpose within the life of a man and woman.
Mm-hmm.
Anger is a tool that motivates us, moves us, brings us to push ourselves into areas and positions where we may not have typically wanted to go. Our anger has been manipulated through the media, through the conditioning, pledging allegiance to these fantasies, as children. And the society has done a very good job of teaching people to believe that they were taught what was right and who was wrong, and always look for who is wrong so that to avoid them or blame them.
Right. It's true. There's a lot of social conditioning. There's a lot of religious indoctrinations. There's a lot of indoctrinations even in, public schools. And rather than, coming from a critical, mind concept, or from you know, a construct where people can discuss things and question things and learn. It's learning by rote. And you
Yep.
have to remember all of this in order to get a good grade. And so
Amen.
they're the one of many examples of just like the celebrities and the lifestyles that they lead. It's almost sad in a way because I see a lot that lose their life at a very young age, and they go through various relationships, and they may make a lot of money, they may have a lot of intention drawn to them, but in a way I feel sorry for those situations because there's a lot of drama there, and that's got to be very difficult.
What we're talking about, and how you doing, man?
Hi.
What people are we talking about that have your attention drawn to them and all of that? What people? I must have missed that part.
Some of the celebrities.
Celebrities, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You may say headlines and like newspaper clippings about how this person has, gone through a really dramatic divorce or lost somebody, or they've, certain things have happened in their lifetime, that have been very egregious. And I do feel pity for that lifestyle, even though they may have extreme amounts of wealth, and they may be having a lot of experiences.
What's your name, baby?
My name is Nicole. It's nice
Nicole,
to meet
how you doing? I'm Joe.
Thank you. Nice
Nicole,
to meet you.
can I ask you? You say you pity those guys. Can I ask you, generally speaking, do you pity the super wealthy?
In a sense, yes, I do.
I like it.
Yes, because when infinite power corrupts infinitely.
Very
and
good.
What happens when that experience is made? There is no amount of power that seeks to satisfy the heart condition, and it becomes almost sociopathic in its nature.
I like it.
And when they are not able to have empathy and balance,
Are we assuming that they do not?
Yes.
Are we?
Yes.
She said yes. We are.
And right. And so in that example, yes, it has to be pitied, because I mean these souls really are creating controls rather than liberation.
You made me think of a good one. I forgot who it was. Some Eastern philosopher. To want is to suffer, right? And if you're dripping so much that you need so much, you want so much, you suffer so much. If that saying is true.
Absolutely. It's described in a lot of the Buddhist teachings as the hungry ghost. You cannot satisfy its hunger because you always have to feed it, and it always wants more.
Yes, you gotta let go of desire. That's how you get your happiness. Which
right.
Jack is the right guy to talk to about that, because he's in a constant search for state of peace, state of happiness. And to his credit, he's not really talking about it just for himself. He's usually talking about it for all. He's beating it that we all need it, and credit to him for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. We need these venues to, open up those discussions and just provide examples and forums that we can become better for each other.
The example is everything, right?
Everything. Yes.
Oh, oops, sorry, I'm in a desert. Internet's weird.
Yeah.
But fuck what come out of a person's mouth. If you can see them actually fishing, or it helps. If you can see them doing a thing, you can learn. I'm sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, I wanted to point this out because I think you were here yesterday, right?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, and I've already acknowledged, but since you were here, my intention is to do a better job of being that example of peace.
Very good.
Okay. So
very good. All right. Good. I would have assumed that though, Jack. I would have assumed you would have been trying to better yourself today. I would have assumed that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Christos.
Welcome, Christos.
Hi.
Hey guys.
What's going on?
Am I coming in all right?
You're good, baby.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, salutes y'all. Just want to come up here and show some support. I hadn't been on Jack's in a while.
Nice. Well, thank you. It's wonderful to meet you, Christos. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Can you just, for a moment, can you just imagine the possibility if there was a world full of people like and you respect, you care about?
Yeah.
Imagine there was a whole world of those people.
That'd be kind of boring.
Who lived in peace, gratitude, and praise. If they were like us, cheerful, positive, encouraging,
no drugs and naked women,
learning,
right? No drugs and naked women. Is that part of it? Can you be wise and still get high? I smoke my weed and and be lustful. Is that a thing?
Sounds positive to me.
Right. Little alcohol in there? No, I don't drink.
Hey, actually, lustful and the temptations. Those are the things that they bring us down in our character and our morality.
Of course,
I don't think so.
I hate that minute.
Okay,
very good, Flo. No, fuck that. You got
I don't mean to, y'all are rocking. I don't mean to come in and instantly start disagreeing. I think you're wrong, Jack, but I don't want to disagree right now. So carry on.
Well, I wanted to. There was another point to tie it back to the Maya, to the illusion, to the misplaced anger, to the misplaced value system, misplaced priorities. It's all due to
lust,
miseducation, and society. I'll call it what it is: capitalist propaganda.
Damn it, Jack.
That's what it was. Well, it was a capitalist propaganda that created the Red Scare back in the day, and the Red Scare was tied.
Remind me, what was the commie thing? I remember.
Communists. Yep.
Yeah.
I wasn't around for that.
Along with the Red Scare, they used that, they being the capitalist owning class. They used the Red Scare as an opportunity to murder and incarcerate and ruin the lives of many union organizers, labor folks who were trying to create better workplaces for their fellow brothers and sisters.
I never heard that, but it's absolutely logical. Yeah. Because they were after groups. All they had to do was say this group was a communist group and they got to end if they wanted to get them. I can see them abusing the Red Scare to fuck with unions. Go ahead,
sure. It for sure was abused. I have no doubt about that, even though I wasn't there. But on the other hand, it wasn't entirely wrong.
Okay, go ahead. Let them go. Let them go.
We can look at the teachers' unions right now.
Yeah.
And the things that they're promoting with the lockdowns and stuff, for instance.
Let me, please, we've got to recognize that all that exists right now is in a corrupted capitalist system where money and the pursuit of money those temptations have ruined most good things in our world.
But those temptations, the human corruption exists in any economic system.
It was
so far.
That's true.
But in the past, well, here's where I see us heading. If Jack gets any say and any influence in the whole world, I see it's the only thing that logically makes sense to me anymore is humanity must stop lying to each other. We got to stop lying to ourselves.
In order to what? In order to what? Ascend. In order to what?
Yes, all things. In order to prosper, in order to
end all the bad shit, the hunger and all of that. Yeah.
Yes. We are at a stage in collective societal development with the electronics, the logistics, transportation.
Yeah.
The way we're heading, though, with the destruction of, wars, continuing wars, and we're continuing to put pesticides on anything that grows and killing off, creating monoculture, mono-agriculture. We're just doing so much stupid crap in this world collectively.
This is a GMO blunt right here, man. Genetically modified. It is
Oil
true,
crisis.
true
Right.
story. Oil crisis.
So I wanted to ask you guys, what would you imagine like a positively polarized capitalistic society to look like? What would it seem like to you in your mind's eye?
What do you mean by that?
I like it.
What's a
Well-
positively polarized capitalistic society?
What would it be like to you?
I mean,
Well,
but
the
what is-
opposite of what it is now. This capitalist
What would good
society.
capitalism be like?
Yeah. Successful, meaning, because this, if there's such a thing, my first thought was there's no such thing, but I would love to hear you guys' image of it, man. I thought love of money corrupts. Capitalism encourages the pursuit of money. That means you have to step on other people. The more person who's willing to step on a person, the more money he gets. I thought capitalism had an inherent flaw in it. I could be wrong.
Right.
I agree
And
completely.
so I guess I would suggest that that's a human flaw. Is
good.
greed and desire for more.
I like it.
And the alternative to capitalism is communism, right? Unless there's another thing that we haven't invented yet.
Fascism. There's a bunch of
fascism, which is basically we live in a fascist economy right now because the government chooses the private sector winners. But communism, if you look at the foundation of the ideologies, communism is built out of a lack of, you don't get the choice.
Right.
You get told what you get and what you do. Capitalism is built out of the
What we have
ideology
now.
of non-coercion.
Free
Basically,
market.
you do what you want. Every trade is voluntary. So,
So maybe
Laissez-faire.
maybe inherent. It is not inherent in the system. Maybe it is not. Maybe
Well,
it is a flaw.
hold on.
Man. You say,
Hold
hold on. Maybe it is fucked up.
This-
Go ahead, Jack.
Joe, you were right. These everyone in capitalism is free to extort as much labor and profit, and they can do whatever they can and want to do in order to create profits. And as a matter of fact, they can create a totally worthless, useless, harmful product and sell it as a good thing because it's capitalism and they're free to do what they want.
Removing people's free will is not a good solution to that problem.
Right. So what if there was an abundance of a give and take in a market
What do you mean?
that people could experience prosperity but still be in balance with nature?
Is that a
Laissez-faire.
I
Getting
think
the
that-
state
I
out of
think-
things, truly.
There is some solutions that have been theorized, maybe implemented on smaller scales, but there's the sharing economy. Some of the tribals, I understand the Ubuntu system of sharing in a community was another method. A more modern description is the resource-based economy. All of these move beyond the dependence upon money. And if we're going to place our dependence on the economy, on a money, on a tool, it's
Well, it just represents resource. Money is just a tool to acquire resources, and resource sharing like that works in family units, in small local tribes, but on a global scale,
it's never been tried so far as we know.
It's that concept has been tried in every failed communist society on earth. It's now
Every attempted communist society emerged in a already globally dominated capitalist, or it was already a capitalist dominated world by the time those communist societies of our modern history emerged. So,
and what's different about now?
What's different about now is what I'm suggesting is we bring the whole world into question about what do we want? What do we want for our future? Do we want a world in the future continue to be controlled by money, by the selfish who acquire? Or do we want the truth to be respected and honored? And I'm leaning towards this, that when we stop allowing lies from our corporations and our governments, we have no democracy because of the misinformation. Okay. When you've got a poorly educated or a miseducated society, there is no democracy. It's just mob rule. And that's what's happening. We've got mobs rules putting
It's not because people are being deceived. It's because they're not attentive to it. It's apathy, not deception. Everything about the Federal Reserve information is out there for anybody who cares to know about it, but people don't care about to know about it.
They've been convinced to believe that the society is the way it's supposed to be, that there can't be any other options, because all the other options, like the only other options that are available besides capitalism, those have failed. I mean, you were presenting that already.
That is true, but what I would suggest is that instead of solving the problem of corruption in the government and in the economy, instead of solving that problem by adding more government, which is what communism effectively does, it gives them more control over individuals. You can't solve too much government by adding more government to it.
Right, and that's not what you're bringing up an argument that I'm not even.
Okay, fair enough. I have not heard you make that argument, but it's sort of implied.
The past method of communism, it's still kind of a class structure, in that those who are in the state know best about what the people need. And no, I don't agree with that. I believe that we can totally restructure and reform, reorganize from where we're at. When communities come together, they choose what businesses emerge, what resources and products are coming out of their community.
But he just said it could work on a smaller level. Remember, we got to keep it on a big level. He already.
But that already happens. That happens every time you spend $1. It's a vote.
That's not true, because of the miseducation. People have been taught, egoically conditioned, to limit their own choices and to tell themselves, well, this is all the money I have, this is all the choices I can do. Yeah. Well, these partial truths, brothers and sisters, they keep us confused. And we
How was what he said? Yeah, that was what he said. If you spent your money building yourself a log cabin and getting freedom, it's still a vote for freedom. He just said it's a vote. He didn't say it's a negative or positive. You vote with your money.
I understood him to say you vote with your purchase, but that is not entirely true. When I was active in the union, okay, one of the things I chose to care about was supporting businesses that care about workers. You know how hard it is to pay attention to which corporations are screwing their employees or poisoning the planet? You know how hard it is to actually vote consciously with your spending?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to say the information is there and just people don't look, we have unnecessary. We've got unnecessary oppression, division, bureaucracy,
and outside.
So I'd like to interject. Like, let's say the old saying, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." There's a certain amount of wisdom in diversity. And even if we look at the nature of certain ecosystems, there's certain diversities in those ecosystems, as they would be certain diversities in, let's say, villages. Okay,
so would that apply with, if we're talking about capitalism here and what you're saying, you should throw a little communism in there, maybe a little of this. Like, in fact, we have a little fucking socialism in our fucking nation, right? We have programs you don't get to opt out and all of that bullshit.
Yeah, well, like, how would it look if it was positively polarized or balanced in those regards? Because there's many different concepts of government that they've tried in one extreme or another over the course of time, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if it was diversified and using many different forums of thought, what would that look like in regards to local communities and in regards to global communities?
I think all your politics would be
local. See Jack twitching.
This is what I've been focusing my mind on, envisioning and trying to see emerge.
Same here.
If a business in a just and moral, equal world where we treated each other fairly and honestly, as a business starts growing, The jobs are added based upon the value added to the company, not by regulation or bureaucracy, creating all these other departments just to run a business and provide a service. But as employees come in, they can be and should know what is going on. What is the big picture of the finances of the company? What's the direction? What's the operating strategies? The employees at every level should understand the organization and how it fits into their community, because these employees are dedicating their time, their energy, their life source to make a business work. And this society offers the workers not enough respect.
No wonder they ran you up out of there, by the way, Jack.
Most employees don't want to
That was a
devote
good union
the
leader.
time and attention
Right.
to it.
I'm sorry, Flo, say again. I was talking.
Say again, please.
I was saying most employees at every public company, they have the ability to do that. Most people don't want to devote more time and attention
The apathy
to the
thing
company they
again.
work at. That's why unions exist. Really.
Even reading the material, let the union
People
do it
don't
for
read
them.
their benefits packets. I mean, it's the fact.
He's
That's
got
the way
a
it is.
point, yo.
We've got to admit people have been dumbed down, literally.
Yes.
Nicole,
Voluntarily.
I can't remember if this
Both.
was before the stream
Both.
or after. Nicole was talking about people have been learning from rote. Was that before the stream or?
Yes. So they've been told what to memorize. Let's say even in like history classes, there's been a lot of augmentations in history. If you take a look at certain wars, they may go to certain temples or certain areas of information and destroy those scrolls or those information, or bury that or suppress that or blast out whole areas of stone, an effacement of not knowing what our past is, so that they can rewrite history.
Like
right?
Christopher Columbus discovering America and being some type of hero.
Yeah.
How the West was won as opposed to how the West was lost. Right.
Right. Yes. Well, and the reason I wanted that brought up is that the slave mindset is the mind with a lot of limits, and we have a lot of limits for when we imagine the future if all we look at is the past.
Yeah.
The schools taught us how to memorize, how to obey, and not to think, not to investigate, not to discover on our own.
I sure was taught how to do that, along with developing it myself, but that's not for everyone. Some people are cogs in a machine that do well on a assembly line.
Someone's
Zone
got to
out.
clean the toilet.
Now, the jobs we're also debating how to make better are also disappearing just as fast. We talk about like it ain't no thing, but I don't think people understand how rapidly we are not needed for a lot of things. And it goes for lawyers as well. Like AI does a lawyer's job easier than you can make a robot do assembly line stuff
The
right
cars may drive themselves, the trucks may drive themselves. So.
Well, a lot of being a lawyer is just finding other cases that already had an outcome for your case. And AI can do that like that,
Yeah.
Well, so that's a good point. We're reaching a technological advancement in the collective. Maybe you and we don't own access to this stuff, but it's there.
I do.
We're reaching this point in the collective where many jobs can be replaced. So do we want the people to be damaged and now they're living in poverty, or they're on their own? They got to find some other way.
No. I think the equal reaction is the way these Zoomer kids are okay with a device in their hand and sleeping on a bench or sharing an apartment with 50 people.
Well, Tom,
it's like the Jesus poverty.
What right, and we can collectively avoid this. We don't need
No, it's fine.
No, Tom, it's not fine. Slavery and economic disparity are not acceptable to me.
Do you know what the difference? Do you know what the difference between the Jesus path and socialist communism is? The voluntary. Like socialism and communism will make you do that, and you'll never be anything more. If you're walking the Jesus path, you just don't want stuff.
Tom, I'm trying to have peace and gratitude. I know you want to find reasons to disagree.
He wasn't doing horrible. Sorry, but I'm so used to him being just so bad.
No,
maybe I'm
right.
just expecting too much.
Good.
You're right. You're very right.
Now, I want you to tell.
Change what I said, though.
I will tell you my mistake. I'll tell you my mistake I made today, and you keep it in mind for next time. I tried to come up here and do the sequel. It was gonna be the sequel. Hey Tom, how you doing? I was just gonna sit here and give you the cold stare, Jack. Just gonna let you do the thing to me. But you already had a panel of people to distract you. So next time I'm the first one on panel, I'm gonna give you the deadpan.
You're right. Make it work for it.
Might even play the music in real time.
Thanks.
We'll crank another one of those out.
You always bring a character.
No, I'm gonna bring nothing. Like it's gonna be the sequel to Paul's thing.
Okay, well then, it's you know, Tom. Now that you're describing it, I don't know that it's anything I want. So don't bother.
It'll be fun. You're just mad right now.
Maybe
now let me tell you a thing that got off on the wrong foot earlier before I got on. Capitalism is good. Capitalism in its true sense is when the guy with the best product, best service.
Selfishness.
No, listen.
That's it.
Listen. The best guy with the best service, best product will naturally be on top because it's the thing people want and people buy first.
All right,
what happened?
Stop. What do you think, Jack? What do you think about that? Right? That
true.
Sounds logical as fuck.
But here's what happened.
People choose.
But I wasn't done.
Options they know. So in order for any product,
that was just the setup, though.
It must be marketing and advertising.
There's nothing wrong with that.
A shitty product and market it well.
No. Listen. There's nothing wrong with that because.
Well said, Jack. Continue.
The way it got perverted was when the guy at the top used those profits to conform the system to fit his company and would buy his competition out and just close them down. That's a monopoly. Like that's Walmart, not capitalism. Yeah.
The oil barons, the railroad
and we're to blame because your mom and pop shops are shut down because you wanted to save 50 cents on a broom. So you went to Walmart.
You vote with your money.
You vote with your money and you vote with your bullets.
Can I please offer like Nicole pointed out previously, sometimes the truth is just so obvious, you know? So in a world of capitalism where capital brings the value and pretty much a free market means everything is for sale.
Okay.
Continuing this process, we all fucking know our elected officials have sold themselves. They're not working for us.
Yeah, that's what we need to do away with, not capitalism, which is free choice essentially.
Capitalism only thrives because of the delusions of authority.
No,
I don't know that's
no.
Jack,
I can explain. I can explain.
Go ahead.
Me too.
Okay. Then let me go and explain what capitalism is.
Feel free.
I did that. I just did it.
To go first?
I mean, you continue to act like I don't know what I don't understand.
But I think Jack needs to hear why it's not the thing he said that makes it. It's us spending our money on what we want. Like Microsoft is up because we want Xboxes. Like
no,
Bugatti sales are because people want Bugattis.
Tom, that's what they tell you. It's all propaganda. Hey guys, you know what? Let's bring this really back into the topic. Peace, gratitude, and praise. Let's remember who we are. We are not here for wealth and profits, nor servitude of bosses and governments. We are spiritual beings.
Right.
Not everybody.
Who can quit at any time under capitalism, but not under communism.
Yeah, communism is bread lines and get back to work.
I'm not so
And
sure
against
you
your
quit
will.
under capitalism as it exists today. Under what you guys are talking about, you and Tommy, yes, it seems like you can opt in and out and do what the fuck you want. But the capitalism as we know it, this is you pretty much must do. If you don't follow this capitalist bullshit, they will hurt you.
So,
Well,
but
you
I mean,
don't have to do anything, but you are limited now in your choices because the monopolies.
you have to put out effort to survive. That's
Agreed.
not an economic system. That's just life on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's natural law. Even if not economics, you're gonna have to chop wood. You're gonna have to find food.
Right.
You must do.
And yes, I agree. We do not live in free market capitalism right now. And I agree with Jack to the extent that like what we're living in now is a corrupt system that needs to be changed.
It's still.
So what can we do? This is what I care about. I don't care about all these opinions of what the names are or what's not available. What can we do?
Well,
What I'm suggesting seems to be
the Fed. The Fed is
know.
the problem. Central bank.
You know what you
are
do?
what needs to be overhauled.
Just
I would wait.
cut floor.
welcome, Paul.
Greetings, Jack. I just had a video I
so you
wanted
could
to
do the thing.
contribute,
It's a good dude.
if you're open to it, about what you're speaking about.
Capitalism.
Well, the whole thing, really.
A video? How long is it?
4 minutes.
I don't know.
You know, Paul, I don't trust you have my intentions in mind, but sure, I'll play your silly games for a little bit.
Did Moose send you this video?
This is
Actually, no, you
Porn
know
bomb.
what? No,
It's not a porn bomb, Jack. What is it, Paul?
I don't care.
Just-
It's more of his egoic self-promotion. That's what I see happening. And if you want to go promote yourself, go back to your show, Paul.
You presumed it was self-promotion when it was me speaking about democracy and slavery and capitalism and all the rest of it?
Well, I don't care.
Okay.
Okay, so capitalism.
Okay, so listen, Jack, as far as what to do, I would do a holding pattern until we see what we become after this next lockdown and the monetary change and what, like, we're going to have to figure out what to do about a new system we live in within like the next 3-ish years. I mean, a lot's going to happen, but I think it'll probably be like, you know, the whole world's set for 2030 and it'll probably be a little bit before that. But every country and motive seems to be citing 2030 for like their time frame. I think that'll be a new system we live under and then deciding what to do about that. And we'll
All right,
probably
Jack,
be
if you
going,
don't want to
man,
play the video, I think I'm just going to go and watch you guys fail some more. I'll see you later.
Easy.
Peace.
and then after I come in quiet, then the next
So,
time me and
Tom-
Paul both
hey,
come in and
Tom.
be quiet.
Tom, I've been sitting here patient with you and Flo and all these naysayers that want to just, I don't know what the hell.
I'm not being a naysayer.
Let them speak.
We're just trading.
Right. No, you're just offering disagreements with everything that's said. You don't fucking think. You don't stop and consider what I'm saying. I've experienced with.
What is it that we're missing?
The fact that people are dying and nobody seems to fucking care.
Is that
That's
what Flo is
a
missing? I
deflection.
tell you
That's-
that all the time, Flo.
that's
that you
not
do
about
not
the-
care about people dying. I've told you that.
Yep.
Sorry, we better stop capitalism.
Capitalists do not care that people are dying as long as they got their fucking safety and their thank you, Joe. The conditioning of this society has taught us to numb ourselves, to disconnect ourselves from other human beings who are
Agreed.
suffering right now.
This whole system
And
is set
let
up.
me-
The internet and everything encourages
Let me
that. I agree.
respond to the
You'd be fine.
accusation of not caring. The reason that's wrong, and the reason I'm bothering to tell you as a capitalist that we do care, is because under the current existing alternative to capitalism, more people have died.
You
Then
are
under
presenting
Let 'em
your
say it. But let
narrow-minded
'em
view.
say
I've
it.
already explained there are alternatives other than the excuse you want to.
Okay, then let's talk about
capitalists
what
want
they
to keep
are.
repeating.
What are they?
A resource-based economy with full transparency of information, without the bullshit nation states.
What's a resource-based economy? Just so I know what you're talking about. You talking about?
Okay, I do
Yeah.
not have all the intricate details.
Don't worry about that. Just give me the big.
As I understand the concept is we maximize on the technology and the mechanization of abilities that we have today.
Okay.
We monitor the Earth's resources. We use transparency. we use data and information, not authorities, to determine where the goods are distributed and how they're distributed.
All right. Come on.
In some aspect, sounds similar to communism, but it is not.
Flo,
like
and you got to let Flo
techno-communism.
go uninterrupted, Jack.
Fair
It
enough.
seems
You're
difficult,
right.
but you got to let him
All
go
right.
uninterrupted
So-
so I
all
can
right.
hear his whole concept. You already know it, apparently. I need to hear it. Go ahead.
Okay,
Flo.
so I have a question though about the resource-based society. How
Okay.
is that different? In what way is it not a technocratic? Is techno-communism is what it sounds like to me. Is that wrong?
I don't know your label and definition of what I said.
Okay, well, let me rephrase it then. You said using data and automation instead of authority. But data can be interpreted in many ways, and somebody still has to have the authority to make the decisions. So how could that operate without authority and just data?
All right. I
Okay,
see where you're going. Remain calm, buddy. I see where he's going. Go ahead, Jack.
Again, you're looking at a centralized place of power where there's an inequality, and these people are going to know.
No,
and
Hold on, Jack. Hold on, Jack. Let me give
what
it
I'm talking
Hold on,
about.
Jack. Wait, I think you misrepresenting dude. Even without a centralized, if it was just your small community and you had to come up with a decision, like someone broke into the lady next door house, and you and your guys are going to handle it. Someone has to make a decision. Now that guy is suddenly in a position of authority. If you understand, no matter what it is you do, someone who's making decisions suddenly becomes the authority figure, even in the society you're talking about.
Joe,
Yeah.
in an equal society, everyone makes decisions. This is the problem of what we've got today. People rely on authority, or they've got to make the decisions. They've got to do it. Well, I don't have all the details, but I know the concept. When humans stop lying to each other, when they stop playing these selfish agendas, how do I manipulate someone out of profits? How do I extort more labor with less cost? When people stop trying to use each other and start using the opportunities together, we can change this entire world.
That works when it's me and you, but then when someone slips in, he fucks up the whole system.
Is that what you're doing?
Blow me.
Well, I mean, our words reveal that which is within. So
I'm trying to keep the topic. I'm talking about the shit flows of logic. That's all I'm addressing here. It's just the logic of flows.
Try to, I know it's hard to imagine, but please picture in some way wars have ended and slavery has ended. Debts have been forgiven.
Okay.
And so now as men and women go to work, they're going to work because they enjoy the job. They find fulfillment in the work they're doing, providing the service.
I disagree. I found homeless people. Relax.
Yeah.
I found homeless people who say, never again will I do that shit. That was a bad idea.
I know. Many people have given up. So please don't take the example of people who have given up. And
I'm not calling them giving up. I think they have some wisdom. They call it freedom.
Well, it is. Right.
Okay.
I understand that. We live in a corrupted world. So if people know that the job they're doing is not just for a fucking paycheck, when they know that what they're doing is growing into something bigger, if they're developing themselves, they're providing something that's actually impactful to others, people will start caring about their jobs. And what I'm talking about is damn employees start accepting responsibility for the work they're doing. I'm talking about accountability, because right now, as it is under the corporate and government structure, many of these corporations have professional attorneys, professional litigators that are just there to defend their atrocious business practices.
Yes.
And so we've got employees, I got to do this because I got to feed my kids. We got scientists telling lies to us because I got to feed my kids and this is where the grant is coming from. I got to do what they want.
That's part of the corruption. That's part of the corruption of fascism and centralized power. That I agree that that's an issue, but the source of it, I'll spare you an explanation, but yeah, I'm just
thank you. And I don't mean to be, well, I am how I am.
That was good.
Jack, I just want to remind you that when I'm disagreeing with your ideas, it's sincere and it's not malicious.
Yes, you got to be able to relax a little bit. We just throwing around the ideas here. You make me nervous a little bit. I'll be afraid, and we don't want him afraid to put his ideas out. And look, I forgot the lady was here. I'm sorry.
Hi. Yeah. So, and in that regards, how can we show the aspect of love and praise and gratitude, and a kind of society that we want to see?
Okay.
Thank you.
What would that be like?
Wait. Let's stay on topic then, if that's what your contribution is. The society we're talking about apparently is one where people go to work and they're happy. I think that's what Jack is saying. When the lies are gone, you can take pride in what you do at work. And I'm saying in that society, does everybody have to work? Maybe I should ask, does everybody have to work? Or are you assuming everybody wants to work? What if I want to be an artist or roll around in the lily fields or something? Can I do that?
I would say so. I would say that you'd have to if you want a happy, fulfilled society. Then that has to include the people who want to be homeless. And I'm with Joe. Like I've dealt with a lot of homeless people, and most of them choose that lifestyle. To be honest, I know I wouldn't choose it either. But
what's up, Jack?
Welcome.
Get cocked up. What the fuck?
Notice I got rid of that shit on my chin.
Thank you. This is a character we know, Nicole. Welcome.
What's up, Jack? I think I can help you out with the resource-based economy, Jack. It was featured in the third installment of the Zeitgeist movies. It's basically you have a technological society, you make everything super efficient, the cities are in its circular shape, and there's trains that just go in a circle, so you just get on a car and circles and you can get to all, and there's AI and computers distributing resources where they need to go. But the lifestyle that Jack's forgetting about is everybody is doing the I rent and borrow everything I want to do. I got to borrow a guitar from the city guitars, and everybody's just working their, like, you are assigned X amount of work a year, even though it's highly minimal because everyone.
I didn't say any of that stuff.
No, I'm saying this is Jock Fresco's.
That's not.
This is the layout.
Okay, that's some of it, but again, please.
You got to take into it that the part about Jack. You know, we're trying to do the society with the heart shit. Don't forget that.
I could just link it. We should just play that part of the third Zeitgeist movie where Jacques Fresco describes his
guys.
thing.
Here's the thing: it's just the way this society currently is. How do we justify what is happening? We cannot.
We cannot.
This is
Right.
free will.
So right. So I'm suggesting I've chosen within me, I no longer consent to this immorality and corruption in our government. And I'm inviting, hey, does anyone else have the free will to want to
Right,
share
that's the
more
thing.
ideas?
You can be fed up and done with it. You can't make that decision for everybody else.
I'm not trying to. So stop projecting your behavior onto me. You're the
No,
one
you're
who's trying to
asking
get
you're
people to
asking
think like
people to do your decision.
that is untrue.
That is
SPLS
absolutely true. Hey,
recruiter.
listen, check this out.
It's like, I don't know what else
Hold
it
on,
can
son.
be.
When you say, I have chosen to stand up against this system, will somebody stand up? I bet you all of us has chosen to stand up in our own way, right? We're doing it every day. You can't suddenly say that you, Jack, cannot do it unless, and that unless depends on anyone other than yourself, unless you guys help me the way I want, unless...
Hey Joe, I didn't.
What
So
fuck are you
quit
yelling
with
at me
this
for?
fucking false. You keep
What are you yelling
bringing
at
up
me
this
for?
false narrative of me.
I just brought this up. I'm sorry.
You've done this to me before. The accusation that I make the claim that I can't do anything unless someone else does it for me.
Oh, yes,
That's a
yes.
bullshit narrative,
Go ahead,
Joe, and I
explain
don't
why.
appreciate
Don't just
it.
call me names and get angry. Explain why.
I said it's a bullshit narrative and I don't appreciate it.
I get that you don't like it. I get that part. Explain how I'm wrong.
How the fuck do you get from what I'm saying? Guys, if we work together, we can face the corruption in our cities, in our states, in our nation. We can confront the corruption in our corporations. We can do more if we get together.
Like in my individual life.
You need other people's help or you don't, Jack?
That's where it goes down to.
Well, we are all sharing this experience together. I need nothing.
Collectivism.
Okay?
So here's what I see happening though.
Yeah.
Like the way a lot of us have a way that we are with everybody, and people say you're like that with everybody. This is your thing, Jack. Like if you just get an alternate idea bounced back off of what you say, you lose your shit, man.
Hey, Tom, I do not appreciate that false narrative.
He is absolutely correct. You're about to do it right now.
Like it's okay on these panels.
Actually, you know what? You can create the reality that you're describing. I don't need to put up with your bullshit, your constant finding disagreements just to be disagreeable. So you can live in whatever fantasy world you want, and you guys can all choose to disrespect me. I really don't care.
No, don't play the victim. No one disrespected you. We gave an opinion. No one
disrespected me. No one disrespected me with
Paul
false narratives. False narratives about me. No one
those narratives are accurate, Jack.
Which ones? Which ones?
The ones that when someone says a thing, you lose your shit. He was accurate every
time, every single
time. They pretty much know what buttons to say. They know
every time.
Pretty much, Jack. Listen.
Is it? Is it?
Listen. You'll hear it if you listen. Pretty much, they're taking it easy on you. They know how to trick you. They're taking it easy on you. They consider you weak because they can trick you at will.
I know. I know.
Am I lying?
Yep. No, Joe. Here, you're right. You're right. You and they have chosen to think I'm weak because I've allowed you to trigger me. Okay?
I don't trigger you.
Now,
not intentionally. I wouldn't do it intentionally. I'm just talking. I would not intentionally trigger you. I want the nice guy, blah, blah,
Nicole, ask us a question quick.
Yeah, so this being the case, how can we work together?
All right.
you know,
Yeah, how can we
to
work
create
together when you guys
solutions.
don't respect anything I say? Sorry to
Right.
speak over you.
And also these demographics of government, right?
Yeah,
They create a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of laws and bylaws, which complicate a lot of venues of government.
of
But
course.
like, how can we come back to principle, which create law?
I think what we're gonna end up, I think is Nicole is your name. Nicole, I think what we gotta end up doing is a friend of mine would say you have to abandon that system. And I'm not necessarily for it. I think we can change and make it better. But I think what his line of logic is about to go, you have to abandon, you have to disinvest from that system. That's the only way you bring it down, crush it, and bring it to a halt where you can't make changes. You would literally have to stop paying taxes. You would have to go to jail, break every law. You know, you had to fight everything. No more pleading guilty. Fight every fucking case. Crush the system. You got to be all out war on that system, I think.
Right. What does that look like in your life and the way that it's lived?
Oh, well, I do it
Like,
every day anyway.
yeah. So
Yes. Look,
period.
I chase, I film the police anyway. I fucking go against the government every fucking day. Right. So it looks like cats like me. I film the police and I go in and make sure they know laws and they never know laws, make sure they don't hurt people. The guy who goes into the public building and says, what a law says, you must do this, and make them do it. Well, you know, that guy's going to go to jail, get kicked out. You're getting trespassed. It looks like a bunch of people catching a hell of a lot of charges is what it looks like. It looks like everybody going to jail for not paying their taxes. Look like nobody voting. That's what the fucking downfall of that system looks like, in my opinion.
Yeah. And even in the voting and the things that we've discovered in the background, right? There may be certain votes that are excluded or not counted. Or what about the venue of like our presidents and how they create sacrifices in Bohemian Grove, and they're pre-elected
What you know
before they're
about
elected.
Bohemian Grove, girl?
Right.
Hey,
So in those
fact.
aspects, like, you know, how are we
How do you stop
working
that shit?
in the spiritual realm? Because the
Very
spiritual
good.
realm
Love
creates
you.
physical reality, right?
Very good. Love you. Yeah.
So if we know that the correlations between what is happening in the spiritual realms, and we stand strong in that
Yeah.
together.
Have you met Jack? I think he's single. I think you guys share a fucking spirit. That could have been his words coming out of your mouth, and it's a good argument. That's the way you bring it down through God. It's going to go there somewhere. You can't defeat evil with evil, so you're going to have to do something positive. Your argument is sound.
Right.
Let me do a fast sprint to catch up with my backstage time. What if we are about to go into a world where we don't pay taxes, we aren't as incarcerated, we do own nothing, and some of us are happy because we will be enslaved in a sense. Like, oh, you don't have to pay taxes anymore, slave.
Right.
Like, you just own nothing and you exist how we allow after we're done culling off a number of you. And what's this woman's
Slow down
name?
with that. That's the shit that gets you popped. I agree with you, but that's the shit that gets you put in the basement. What else?
Right. And
Oh, I think I see it already happening. We're already like halfway.
I would like to reiterate,
Yeah.
what is illuminated about the Illuminati that are causing these slavery paradigms?
What is
Whether
eliminated?
it be illuminated
Illuminated.
about
Okay,
the
okay.
Illuminati that's
All right.
causing these slavery paradigms.
Well,
So
what I was
you have this
She's
situation,
talking.
right? With birth certificates that now you're considered chattel and you're part of the stock market.
No, that's what we're doing away with. They've acknowledged that that's been exposed.
Right. And then also, if you own nothing and be happy, what if
they don't decide if we're happy or not. Like I said, if I choose to own nothing, like in a Jesus path, that's fine. If your powers that shouldn't be are demanding that you own nothing, that's a problem. Because owning land is what made America the free country it is.
So what is in the spiritual paradigm of this Jesus path? Is it the Christ or is it the Antichrist?
I don't want to jump down the spiritual path too quick. I just wanted to reiterate, you've never had an election. You've never voted for someone because you've never chosen who your candidates are. You can have the fairest, most accurate vote count in the world. You didn't choose who the candidates were.
Right. That is true. So what is happening on the spiritual level that is electing these presidents
Very good.
that
And I
is
love that you're sticking
that
to
is
your thing, girl.
disempowering our vote? What is happening on the spiritual level that is causing these realities?
What is it, baby? Hold
It's
on, Tommy, hold on. Let
let's
me hear her answer,
let's
please.
not even
Or not.
blame the spiritual level. It's just each person's individual responsibility that's not being upkept. It's like I told Jack that you can't do for other people. I can't make the guy on the street want to do more for himself. That's his decision, you know? So whenever we made this country and Ben Franklin, the one was like, what is this? Ben Franklin's like, a republic, if you can keep it, ma'am. It's like,
Tommy,
yeah, did we keep it?
Are you discounting what she's saying, Tommy? I think that she is saying if we reach a certain spiritual level, you won't have as many shitty motherfuckers out here. Right.
Well, even atheists could achieve that. I think it's more of a logical society level.
Right. And then I think she's just saying, if some of you achieved that, what would the society look like? I think that's what her and Jack are asking. Something along those lines.
One of those futuristic, everybody in the cool robes, dudes with long white hair, white beards, but yeah, we'll be idiocracy.
In the atheistic, logical mind, how can that be balanced in the wise mind with the emotional body? What does that look like in the sense of reality, combining both the spiritual realms with the physical reality?
I don't think I'd put emotion on the physical body. I'd say emotion, while there's a chemical reaction in your brain, I would say emotion is more like your spirit.
Okay, so what if it's a balance between the logic and the spirit?
No, that's what we're striving for, I would think, but you know my outlook, it's beast system end time, so.
As long as people continue that belief, that's exactly what will be revealed for us. I'm suggesting, brothers and sisters, if we come into peace, gratitude for being of today, praise of the fact that we live, we've learned of the corruption, we've learned of the darkness, we've learned of the evil that is. That can be pretty disheartening if you convince yourself that there's nothing that can be done. I know for a fact, anyone who joins, so we can become the solution. I know it within me.
I think
maybe we become a solution when each of us become the solution. Maybe it's not a us together.
That's what it
maybe
is.
It's individual thing.
That's a possibility, or the possibility I'm running with is that 2,000 years ago, God revealed to us the power, the glory of God, what is possible through one man. When one man lives in faith and devoted to the divine, it can change the world. And what I believe is happening now is as we ascend, our minds seek enlightenment for ourselves and become more like God's children, I believe we will see the power and the miracles of God through uniting brothers and sisters, children together.
Do we see the power and that miracles in that uniting right now?
Yep. I think we're going to see, if should God allow it, should humanity choose to humble themselves to today, find forgiveness, find faith, find peace, find gratitude, should people start
God
living,
allows it.
Well, should people want to choose?
When Satan
start living like the Christ within them, we will see lives being changed, blessings being shared, transformations of individuals, of communities.
That's out there. When Satan went to God and said, "Hey, your boy Job, I want to go medieval on him. I want to take everything he's got. I want to drive him into the dirt. He's going to curse your name."
Right.
God allowed it.
Right.
God allowed Satan to have this world for the time he's allotted. So you're allowed by God to go out and do your free will. And the things you want to see happening are happening out there if you go look for it.
And even in that regards of allowance, right? Is it do as you will, or is it free will? Is it order out of chaos, or is it order out of love? Which choice is
there's
going to be
God's
better?
law. God gave you his law and his rules, and you have the free will to not do it. He wants you to volunteer to love and praise him. Allah is the one that says bend the knee. Allah is the one that's Allah Talcott about it. Jesus is just like, I hope you show up. I'd like to see you show up. I mean, he wasn't lukewarm. He was a radical. But the concept is, please agree. You're not demanded. Like that's why the serpent's allowed in the garden, because it's not free will. You're just in a padded room and kept from all danger, all choices. You gotta let the serpent in the garden. That's free will. It's like this.
I don't know what your point is, or fuck. Oh dear.
What Jack said is right.
Well, here's what I know. I mean, what I've been trying to share is the idea if we choose Christ, choose to accept the Christ being that is available within us, you know, the one that can have faith, the one that can care about the suffering of others around the world. When we allow that Christ within us and we start sharing love with one another, sharing the praise of God, sharing the blessings of life that we have received with one another, we're going to be changing this world. But all of this talk
Jack,
about,
that might be it. Share the blessings of life. That's a big part to how we change this testimony. I've never been to church, but I think they call that your testimony. I hate to be saying church phrases and shit, but by telling what God's done for you, that's how we could change some things. Yeah.
So Christ is a title.
No, he was God.
Okay, and Jesus or Yeshua was a name. So how can we embody it? How can we embody the title? How can we embody the ability to have the golden rule in our life and to really truly love one's neighbor as oneself? And how does that show up in the way that we speak towards each other, way that we act towards each other, and way that we carry on our interpersonal relationships?
That Eastern philosophy.
Who's the neighbor Jesus talks about?
A lot of forgiving involved.
Who is the neighbor Jesus talks about?
Who is the neighbor?
Anyone that is closest to you is the neighbor. So how are we speaking towards each other? How are we interacting towards each other? You know,
do you know how like the apostles really were rolling around with Jesus? Like they weren't the fish band. They weren't hippies. Like Peter had a thing about pulling his sword real fast about everything, taking guards' ears off and stuff.
All right, Tom. What? I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. What?
Well, you got here late.
They were human examples of both the human embodiment and also a practice. So there's a avenue of being a disciple or being a student and an avenue of being a master. Okay, so in those aspects, we are both students and masters. We have something to teach and we have something to learn.
Man, there's only one master, ma'am. That's Lord Jesus Christ. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, you can have that narrow-minded definition and be an interruption, totally miss the point, but sure.
He also said that we would do works greater than him. And if he laid the way of an example, then our life can also be an example in relation to what he spoke.
I agree, man.
But do you know what it is to be a man after, like, do you know who was described as a man after God's own heart? It was King David when he was 14 years old, rushing through the battlefield to find the 5 biggest brothers, Nephilim, and put a stone in the forehead of Goliath. And that was a man. He was like...
Right, and sometimes in those examples, it is a example of what we have to do to stand up to those bullies, and also an example of what we can do to be peaceable. So how can we live both in those balances? Even if he was a man after God's heart and he was able to eradicate the Goliath that was, perpetuating war and bullying the people over a long period of time.
And David was
in that battle.
David was a warrior. He ran headlong into battle. I think to answer your question, it would be the discernment of in the situation, in the moment. Right. Like even when I get pulled over, I'm reading, do I get aggressive with this cop? Do I back off? Even how we interact with each other.
Please yield. Thank you. Please.
And sometimes it requires us to be a warrior. Sometimes it requires us to be peaceable. It's a discernment and that wisdom and knowing what to do in this.
Being peaceable in some cases is being the warrior. That is the battle. And many just maintaining your peace is a battle right there. It makes you a warrior, just maintaining your fucking peace. Especially in certain places I go at. I'm sure you too.
Right.
When the rumor got around about Buffalo Bill's quick draw showdown in the streets, he said a lot of people backed off, and then there was a few people that want to come for him because to make the name. But he said once everybody heard about the quick draw in the street story, he was going town to town. People weren't harassing him. Like there was his piece through showing he was willing to stand in the street and shoot you down.
Yeah, that's dope.
Speak softly, carry a big stick.
That's dope.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey, I'm just gonna jump in because I've learned that you kind of try to wait for a pause. I try to be polite and wait my turn. I just want to say something briefly. I'll try. I touched on it a little bit last night, and tonight I have a little bit more courage, and I feel this so strongly in my heart. So I'm gonna stick my neck completely out because my neck will probably get chopped off after this, but I need to do this. We talk so much about all these things, the scriptures, this faith, that religion, this person, blah, blah. We've been around the block 100 times.
Agreed.
With all of it.
Yeah.
And
we're hoes.
As outdated and unpopular as it is, the truth is, and my voice is shaky because I feel like I could cry because this is important. This is important to me because I have came to love all of you people, all these different panels and people and personalities and the back and forth. It's in my heart and I love all of you. And I feel like someday I'm going to stand before God. I'm going to stand before my Heavenly Father and He's going to ask me, if you loved those people, why didn't you tell them the truth?
Oh, God.
And the truth is, I can't help it. The truth is, we are sinners and we are saved by grace through Christ. And until we come to that and we put aside everything else and we ask for forgiveness, we repent, we try to do better, the world will never change.
All right.
But they know, Sophia.
If this sounds like preaching, I'm sorry, but I don't want anyone to suffer.
But listen, Sophia, I know how you feel. This is an effect of evangelistic preaching and long time American church. There's nobody that hasn't caught wind of that message. And your responsibility is not the weight you feel. Like, they're knocking on doors every Saturday. When I lived in there's Mexican speaking missionaries that will come knock on my door. I'm like, I know the thing. I'm the thing. Please go, we love you too, Sophia, and we know you cry over insurance commercials and you cry over your grocery list.
No, I'm not that bad, but I did feel impressed in my heart from the Holy Spirit that I needed to speak out, because it may not resonate with everyone, but there truly might be someone who might listen to this later who is looking. They might be looking for Jesus Christ.
I put in term of Jack's argument. How do we make the end wars? Blah blah blah. I threw your stuff in there. Perhaps it is. You throw that in as a possibility. It may not come until motherfuckers repent and say I'm sorry. And do those things. That may be a probability too.
Hey, can I please jump, Tom? Please.
Go ahead.
This is what, Sophia. I felt that. I felt that urgency, that commitment. I felt that failure of not. Well, when I saw Federal Reserve, legal secrets, those are the problems of the world. We can end wars. That was back in 2018. And when I failed to get anybody to understand me, I was ready to kill myself because of my failures. I felt that burden, what you imagine you're feeling. But
that was dope.
Now I have the faith in God. Praise God. And it is by God's grace that my suffering, God allowed me to end my own suffering, to remove myself, my own fears, my own hate, my own unworthiness. God allowed me to remove that with the intention, just what you said, Sophia. I got on my fucking knees and I prayed to God, please forgive me for wasting so much of my life. I had no idea what a gift this was.
Got back on that wagon though, didn't you?
Well, I'm still committed to trying to follow the example of Jesus as I understand, with the intention to try and bring peace to this world, to share the truth of God's love for all of us, and the fact that heaven, the kingdom of heaven is now. It is available to be discovered, experienced, to be known within and around. It's up to us to choose.
Jack, I can go back to your first appearance on the old channel, Paul Unslaved, more than a year ago, and you've just been given the intro pep, like, every time. And it's all you'll do, because the world's gonna world, and you just gotta adapt and do. But you're not gonna pep talk everyone into just.
No, but hey, Tom,
I
am trying to pep talk, but most importantly, I know, even though I've been telling myself, even though I've been triggered and lots of people want to come up and oppose me and see the angry
not as much as you think.
I know that some seeds of thought have been planted, and I trust that is what each of our jobs is each day, to share the wisdom of the balance.
You don't know when it's going to land on fertile soil, and when it's not, your job is to keep pushing them seeds out. I'm with the girl up there, whoever said that shit. I had to get up and say the word. I'm with you. I feel that's my edict in life, is to propagate Jesus Christ, which is mercy, forgiving, love, truth.
But what your problem is with me and other people, Jack, is I'm not even opposing you as much as saying, oh, no, the way that system works is this. Like, you kind of spelled it out like profiting from war is what creates war. And it's like, no, it kind of keeps war perpetuated and lasting longer because money can be made from war. But there's always been reasons for war since the first upright men sharpened sticks and said, that thing in the sky says, I get your half.
Right. Ever since man has divided itself, all these imagined reasons that supposedly matter, but
and the Son of your God came to that.
Tommy, all we are, right? 2,000 years ago, there's a story of Jesus walking on this land, and here we are today.
He brought a sword. He didn't bring peace. He brought a sword and division.
He did both. Yeah.
We are only alive right now. So whatever the past was is done. What the future might hold, that's up to us.
It's been predecided. Well, it is up to us, I believe, how long it takes to happen. I believe that the reason no man know the hour of the day, only God, I think we are playing it out to it slower or faster. And right now, we faster.
Let me ask the panel a question. It appears to me that at least Jack and Sofia feel an obligation or a burden to do something in the world on God's behalf. I mean, maybe that's the wrong phrasing, but I don't feel that at all. And of course, I'm not explicitly religious, but I'm not atheist. But I think that whatever's supposed to happen will happen, right? I'm along for the ride, not to design the track.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, the concept of both
I've
Christianity.
Never even considered that. I got to take time just to even consider that. I've never even considered that.
Well,
I mean, do you guys think that observation is correct? Is that accurate?
Well, what I'm saying is the concept. The concept of Christianity and freedom is for each individual to be doing it, and then the results just happen when the larger number of us are. But the reason there's traffic court is because everybody keeps going to traffic court and paying their tickets.
I missed some of that. The dog was jumping up on the bed.
Well, she can go out to eat with you tonight and see a movie or whatever.
Observation.
Hey.
Oh, you meant canine.
Actually, Flo, I don't want to judge what you're saying because I do understand it.
No, you can judge it. I'm not sensitive about it.
You can even disagree. You can form a disagreement, Jack, and we won't boot you.
That was
what I want to offer is the value I've found in changing my mind from just doing my part into becoming more selfless, considering myself a part of even more. Even though I actually have less, I feel part of more in the world, like I'm one with the world. And that includes the people I saw in the news. You know,
hold on, I'm sorry.
Dealing with the storms. And
I'm just now working Flo's shit through in my head. Now I got questions if it's all right. You do acknowledge, or do you believe that you have an influence on others, Flo?
Yes.
All right. So you're not just along for the ride. You have some control over it.
I have some influence in it, correct. But I guess it's more about, do I feel like
obligated,
an obligation that I'm not meeting?
Wait, yes. I was going there. And your controls, do you feel an obligation to use them wisely?
So, say that again.
The control that you have over this game, control the way you can bend others or whatever you want to call it. Whatever I want to call it, influence others. Do you have a responsibility to use that wisely?
Yes, I think so. But I have a responsibility to use it at the very least, not unwisely.
Very good.
But that doesn't translate into a specific objective or I'm not tasked with something besides not.
I just because of your philosophical beliefs, I believe that it is a task. You don't relate it to God, but that desire of yours to do good, that would be what we call up here the Holy Spirit and all of that stuff, or somebody might call it a certain vibration. That's some language, that desire, and that's the divine intelligence, the spark that he put in you, in my opinion. I'm a fan of God.
Flo just might
do good.
He might just be acting on civic responsibility. Like he might deeply hate everyone and want to cut all our throats, but he's like, to be a good citizen if I want to, I got a job. I got,
Well, it's not
kids to feed.
citizenship. I guess it's just
I
negative
like
rights. But, I feel like I have an obligation not to fuck people up, right? Because
Yes.
they're individuals just like I am. But I don't need to save anyone's soul. I don't need to end war. Like, I just don't feel these existential
I just
obligations.
don't believe you. Just by the way you talk, you're obligated to tell the truth. You're obligated in some way.
Okay.
I believe you. Yeah.
Maybe I need to
But
work on my
besides-
understanding of what I'm doing.
Person.
Besides the influential aspect you guys are talking about, don't forget about butterfly effect, where whether you like it or not, what you do ripples out in some way to affect things, whether you realize it or not.
That's exactly what we're talking
But
about.
we can't be responsible for things that we can't control.
Agree,
Yeah, I thought you
right?
guys were talking about like the conscious effect, like your desired intentional influence is what
We
I thought
are
you were
talking
talking
about conscious, but it's the same thing with the butterfly effect. You never know what I say to Jack or how Jack inspires me, because he gets down on himself sometimes, and I pick on him. So I'm a shitty big brother Jack when I do that. But when you get down on yourself, I show no mercy, because when Jack, God, excuse me, Lord, when Jack says something wise, he never knows how it's going to influence me, what I'm going to tell. My fucking girl asked me, well, you're going to get on Jack Talcott today. She know who you are, and she know you as a good guy, blah, blah, blah. You never know how you're going to influence the effect, how that's going to affect my girl, what she's going to, you don't know the butterfly effect that dude had. It's the same shit.
I think that Sofia was the clearest or the cleanest example of what I'm talking about, because she felt, and props to your bravery, but there's a certain duty or obligation that she felt.
I like you.
That I would not feel that. I feel like that's not
Thank you for
that's
clarifying
not my lane,
it.
basically.
Thank you for making that clearer to me. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I think we share that. Excuse me, Tommy. I think we share that flow. I don't have that responsibility in that sense either that she has. I have to do it, and I want to do it, and I want to make stuff better, but it's a ride. It's going to happen with or without me. I didn't even have to show up that day. It was going to occur without me, and I'm very aware of that. So I'm along for the ride. I don't have to. I can't make you do a thing. I never have that burden.
And I think with both Sophia and Jack and a lot of people, like one thing that's reignited me in my religion is I'm realizing how much we've been given this not quite full aspect of it. Like this idea that you do have to be out there beating down doors, winning souls. Like, it's hard enough just to follow these rules and stay as blameless as possible, much less go out and get people to do it. And if you saw the Babylon Bee thing where they kind of, you know how when you're buying groceries, they're like, would you like to donate to dying children? The Babylon Bee kind of did that to Elon Musk. Like, will you become a Christian today, Elon, since you were on our show and it went real well? Do you want to be a Christian? Do you know Jesus as your personal savior? It was like in a really awkward.
I saw that, Tommy, and that was nothing but a mockery, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about religion.
But
I'm
hold on,
talking
like
about that which changes our heart, and like the Bible says, the Bible does
But
say.
I was going somewhere. Listen,
Okay.
we all go around these streets saying, "Judge not, lest ye be judged," right? And we've always said that. You hear that everywhere. You see tattoos saying, "Only God can judge me." But if we just read further, for with that judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. Am I okay with being judged the way I hold people? Yeah, because that's why I judge people, because it's like my standard.
Can I say something?
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?
I have only one more thing to say, and I'm going to get out of the way. There is a Bible verse that does say, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. I prefer to do it right now while I'm in this realm, so that when I stand before God on Judgment Day,
Good girl.
I'm not told you can't come in. I want to be told, well done, thou good and faithful servant. And that doesn't mean that I'm perfect. I have a long way to go. I have a lot to learn. I need to
Sophia,
do
before you
better.
leave, hold on, Sophia,
Here's the
before
other
you leave, I
mispreaching.
never considered
Tom,
that.
I'm,
I always thought I was a part of the group, Sophia. I never even considered that I might not be let in unless I do
Jack,
good
hold on
things.
loosely. Don't let go. It's fine,
Right?
Jack. It's a good
I'm
show.
part of the
Relax.
family.
That
I
was
always thought I'm part.
quite a phrase to hold on loosely. Don't let go.
It's yeah. So Sophia, this is what I'm talking about. Like with the mispreaching, it's like because of school and jobs, we all have this idea of a merit system under Christianity. Like you're going to be tallied up for a high score, and we will be judged. But the only thing you need to pass through those gates is the belief, the faith. And that's not to say, oh, you can go out and do small mustache and then repent on your deathbed. We all know it's not that. But like even when it said a rich man is harder to get into heaven than a camel through a needle's eye, that's based on like, do you crutch on that money? Do you think that money is why you're okay? You can't just give it away and know that your God's got you, that he'll still feed you, you'll still be accounted for even if you don't have that money. Because Job was rich, he was doing it right. But I even had to challenge myself when I first came in money. It's like
Wait,
I felt that security.
Wait. She was trying to get out of here. I just wanted to.
She
ask
doesn't
her
have to
something.
leave. She's not in the way.
I was gonna
But
say
whenever
that.
she goes to her church shit and they're singing the like shout from the, you know she's that chick with her eyes closed, both hands out. She's like swaying, got the hands up, mouthing the lyrics, and she cries over her grocery list.
No, I don't do that, Tommy.
There's
I
a lot of
don't
women
do
like you,
that.
Sophia. I love you guys to death. You're like sweet to a fault. Like you're the people I protect from rabid dogs and stuff like that. But you're very much that. It's cute.
Well, I appreciate y'all letting me speak again. I know I'm annoying to some people. And like I said, I was going to stick my neck all the way out tonight because I knew if I didn't, the
Very
Holy
good.
Spirit would be like all
Very
over me.
good.
Like, why didn't you speak up? So thanks so
Yeah.
much.
You
God
ain't
bless
lukewarm,
all of
girl.
you. What?
You're not lukewarm.
I've been scared to come right out and say it because
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
lukewarm as fuck.
I have been scared in the past, but today I was like, I can't hold this in anymore. I can't do
Boom.
it.
Well, I'm
So,
glad my panel could serve your purpose, and I
well, Jack, I certainly didn't
Oh,
mean
give
to
him
do
some credit,
that.
Sophia.
And
Say
Jack,
Tom,
Jack
please,
are we done
please
with
Talcott
the
forgive
saved
Tommy
my
me.
show?
life.
Are we done
Jack,
with the Tommy show?
I
You saw
didn't
this.
mean to do that,
I
Jack,
know,
and
I
God
know.
bless
And
you.
Sophia,
You
God bless you. Thank you. One day, maybe you'll return and actually want to have a conversation with me. Thank you for using the platform for your purpose. It's a noble purpose, and I hope you feel better. Any final words, Joe?
Yes. Let me think. Shit, we covered so many fucking topics. I was gonna try to think of, short end of topics. I'm not gonna be able to do that. So I'll end on the lady who came up here, Sophia, Gloria, whichever one was just talking about Jesus. I'll end on the same note. I think she came up here because she saw the spirit up here. I'm part of the team. Jesus 2024, all of that stuff. All right, easy.
Respect. Thanks, Joe. Flo?
I just got distracted by the chat. Praise God. Thanks for having me up again.
Thank you, brother. It's great to see you again. Nicole?
I just wanted to say thank you for this space and for holding the discussion in its various forms of how we can embody the highest form of ourselves, how we can love our neighbor as ourselves, and how we can change the world for the betterment of all.
Amen. If you've got a minute, I recognize there was an edge of rudeness in my interruption there at the end, but and Sophia, I am about God. You did not upset me. I'm upset at the situation that God has revealed to me, brought forth to me once again, because I share my time for the purpose of sharing peace, gratitude, praise. Everyone knows my stupidity, my delusional thinking. I'm insane for thinking we can have peace on earth. I can't even make peace with people who join my panel. You're right. I'm a fool. So don't listen to me, guys. Figure out what is true. Because all of these excuses that we sat here entertaining about why the world can't change, or we've got different definitions for the economic corruption that we're all just enabling. We're all going along every day, participating, finding reasons why we can't change the world. I used to do that. I know we can. I know that no man, no woman is an island in this world. No one reaches levels of power and influence without the enabling of others. And for whatever reason, I'm seeing the most corrupted people enabled for success and for abundance and prosperity. And then I see people like us trying to offer the world a safer space, a more encouraging perspective, maybe even some ideas of gratitude for the people in some of the comments in the chat are truly. Anyway, Nicole,
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you. And I think we can all do it with grace, because it allows us to look at different perspectives in different avenues and to work with each other the best that we can. We all have something to bring to the table, all something of value, all something of great purpose. And we all have a mission and things that we've agreed to be able to make this world a better place. And when we come together in that aspect, we are creating the kind of smorgasbord of venues of things that we're bringing on our own aspect, on our own dish that we serve up. And as we do, we can respect one another and we can learn from one another. We can be both the master and the teacher. And I just wanted to thank you again for this venue. It's a very gracious avenue of allowing us to speak and to really come up with ideas that can be helpful and can be liberating for all of mankind as we endeavor to love ourselves and our neighbor as ourselves and practice that golden rule and that law of one.
Beautifully said, sister. Thank you again for joining, for sharing your day off, and your energy has been delightful. I'm going to do some final words and wrap it up. You're welcome to stick around, or we'll connect again later. Thank you, Nicole. God bless. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. I'm going to be honest with you, brothers and sisters. My heart is not in this anymore. I don't know if it'll be I don't know what tomorrow will bring. But what the world has offered me in exchange for what I've been doing has not been pleasant. It's not been productive, and it's not been healthy for me. Today was a step in the positive direction, but my mind is still blown by the amount of denial, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of care that people will show to one another. And I'm not saying that was shown here, but how many times do I have to bring up the fact that there's human beings dying right now that are being trafficked by evil human beings, that are being murdered, that are being sold, And then there's many, many more people, men, women, children, without food, without shelter, without sustenance for the day. And everyone who I seem to run into here in America seems pretty fat and happy, pretty content, actually pretty miserable, pretty negative, pretty selfish. Hey, speaking of selfish, welcome, brother.
How are you, Jack? You upset tonight? You seem really angry and bitter and resentful. What happened?
No, I'm at a place of peace. I have praise for God. I have gratitude for being me and the life that I live.
You were very rude to Sofia before because you didn't get enough attention from everybody on the panel for the last 20.
Sofia,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry if you felt I was rude. I didn't mean to be rude, but I find it bizarre. You know what it was? Let me be honest and admit. I apologize sincerely. I had hopes. I had hopes that you were one of the people who saw the value in me. I've seen how you and others just swarm the feet of Paul, offering him absolute encouragement and all sorts of good job. And, you know, I'm living a very similar life to him, sharing similar messages, although mine, I actually try to censor all the negativity, and I do try to limit my profanities. But Sofia, you know, I thought I had offered to you my, you know,
Jack,
my
may I speak?
expectations were the problem. Please go ahead, Sophia.
May I
Sure.
reply? I understand what you're saying. This is your platform. This is your channel, and I respect that. As far as people offering things to you, people do offer things to you. There are many people who do care. They try to say certain things to you. They try to give you solutions. They can't go with
advice from people that don't talk to me.
Well, they can't
Lots of
go.
opinions from people who think they know. And Sophia, please forgive my interruptions. What
No,
I'm
it's
hearing you
okay. It's your channel. And I
Well-
appreciate the apology, but I was not offended. You had every right to boot me off. It's fine. I'm just trying to address the question you're asking, where you've asked for help, you've shared your story many times. I've only been involved since, I don't know, I think the first time I seen your channel was, I want to say it was late March or early April of this year, and I started learning your story. I respect your story, and I'm very sorry for all that you have been through. And as far as people helping you, people have been trying to help you with the tools that they have. They
Right, but
they
Sophia-
can't get into your life and change your life.
I know, Sophia, and I'm not
And
asking.
if I had
anyone-
money to send, I
Sophia,
would.
Thank you. I'm not asking for anyone to do anything they cannot do. I'm not asking for people who don't have the ability. I'm not asking for people to do things that I haven't tried to do myself. I wouldn't ask people to do things that are unsafe. Okay, so Sophia, for you to, the reason I interrupted and muted you is because the narrative that you are presenting to me is not accurate. People have offered me things they think are helpful based on their limited tools. You're correct. Paul's in the back offering me the middle finger, more disrespect, because that's what he's full of. Sophia, I love you, my sister. I actually do know what I'm talking about. I do walk with faith in Christ. And why? You've been a witness of what Paul and others have been saying and doing with
I
me.
have, and I have spoken up about that in the past.
Actually, you have.
I have many times said we don't need to be cruel to each other.
Well, and this is what surprised me, I guess.
I'm not attacking you, Jack, at all.
But it surprised me that you have not taken the chance to have conversations with me, to join the discussions. But
I have. I'm
today,
here right now.
I know. You're here right now. There's your disagreement. You're right.
I'm not
Hey,
disagreeing with you.
Okay. I don't want to be rude, so I'm ready to close this up.
I appreciate you, Jack, and I'm sorry for whatever all the troubles are, and I wish you the very best. And if I knew how to help, I would help. I don't know what else to do but to pray and to love.
Or ask, but you can stay not
well,
knowing.
What can I do? Then tell me what I can do.
Well,
tell me what I can do.
Tell you what, maybe on another day, should I actually return back to YouTube, maybe you can do what Nicole was offering to me today.
And she was lovely.
Right. I hope others might have picked up on her example. Paul, I'm done with you, band. Everyone's little idol, the monkey boy Paul in the back making fun of me.
See, that's the thing, Jack. That's what we have to get past. People are going to be who they are, and we can't take it personally.
Yeah, right. Sophia, I don't have to allow him in my life. I don't have to allow his supporters and his enablers, his encouragers to take up my time either. So, Sophia, you asked what I want to anyone. All I want is actual conversations where you might consider what I am saying. I am so sick and tired of everyone just assuming I'm wrong when I'm actually talking about very obvious and logical stuff. Holy cows, man. And you know what? I am rude. I don't care. You know, this is what I've been humbling myself to accept too. Moose, you've offered me nothing as well. This is something I have been allowing myself to accept, is by God's grace, I'm learning to allow myself grace to allow others to be themselves, but at the same time, I sure respect myself. It may not show it by the people I bring into my company, but those are my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes. Don't bring people into your life who don't respect you, don't appreciate you, because really, they're not worth your time. And if you want your life to be fulfilled, please find time each day for peace, for gratitude, and for praise. I'll say the words, so I acknowledge my errors. Once again, I do offer my apologies for not maintaining my positive energies. I look forward to a day where someone actually cares to help me keep my positive energies instead of just taking from my time. That was rude and inaccurate. There were some wonderful people, very caring and productive conversations that were held, and I feel blessed to have been able to host that. God bless you all. Thank you again, brothers and sisters. Choose love.